Well, as you can see, we're no longer in the South Island, at least not for this week's video. This was filmed last weekend when we had a magnificent sunny autumn day, and this is a HOG Auckland Chapter ride leaving from North Auckland Harley-Davidson in Takapuna. So we're heading off down Barry's Point Road, and one of the challenging parts of starting a ride from Barry's Point Road is trying to get through the lights all in one group. Now, I'm operating today as the tail end Charlie, and there is, I think we started off with about 24 bikes on this particular ride. And through some miracle, we all managed to get through the light in one go to get onto the motorway. So, good fortune was smiling on us as we made our way up towards the on-ramp to the motorway, heading along Esmonde Rd. You can see the city to the left there. We're not going over the city today. We're going to be going through a nice curved motorway on-ramp to head us up, heading the general direction of North State Highway 1. Shore is a lot different than riding around in the deep south up towards Milford Sound, but hugely enjoyable nonetheless. Great day for riding, the blue skies from horizon to horizon, and we've got a big group of motorbikes coming onto the motorway, and traffic's really quite light for a Saturday. It's just after 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and what we will try and do on the motorway is get across to the far right lane. It's a safety thing as much as anything, because what it will mean is that you're not going to, because we're going to be on the motorway for a little while, we're heading up to get off the Millwater off-ramp, which is quite some kilometres upstream. And if you're riding in the middle or the left-hand lanes, you're always in danger of cars trying to chop and change to jump off at an off-ramp along the way, and just can create some kind of issues if you're in a group. And we want to try and avoid issues wherever we can. So we'll go along at motorway speed in the outside lane until we're ready to get off the motorway. We'll also just try and keep in staggered formation and only take up one lane of the motorway, so that if any other motorists do want to get past us, there is a way that they can get past us through the other lane and just punching on through. Mostly we find that we're going as fast as anybody else, and people are quite happy to slot in behind us. We actually live not too far from this particular rise on the motorway, off to the right there, and even when there's one or two Harleys going up the hill, you can really hear a noise. So I'm imagining the sound of 24 Harleys heading up this hill from my house would have been kind of resonating through the valley, I guess. So wouldn't mind it being home just to hear that, to be honest. Anyway, I'm glad I'm not at home. I'm glad I'm out riding the bike with all the crew. So here we are, we're getting off the motorway, State Highway 1. Off the Millwater off-ramp, which is kind of one of the last off-ramps before the toll road kicks in to head over up and past Puhoi. Nice fella there to just let me go past. Now you can see in front of me some guy on an adventure bike that kind of jumped in amongst our crew due to a break in traffic before. He's riding a bit recklessly, and he's also got some shonky operation going on with his number plate where thinks he's pretty clever and installed his registration and warrant of fitness stickers to obscure the last two numbers of his plate. Well, it's not really all that smart. All it's going to do is get you attention from the John Law when you go past them. In the meantime, he's skipping through and putting himself and everyone else in danger by overtaking in really quite stupid places along this piece of road. We're happy to see him gone. He just disappeared at some point. Good luck to you, mate, but quite happy you're not riding amongst our crew anymore. Anyway, we're heading down Waitoki Road, and when we left North Auckland Harley-Davidson, the plan was that we would be regrouping at Waitoki, and although plans can change because there can be festivals going on up here and whatnot, but on this particular day there wasn't, and a regroup happened at the school up ahead as we turn onto Kahikatea Flat Rd. And our road captain, the head road captain of the chapter, has pulled the crew over to wait for the tail end Charlie, that's me, to come past and signal, yeah, we're all okay, everybody's there. So that's what's happening in a moment. I'll pull over in front of the crew they'll all start off again, and then we'll carry on as we head down towards Kahikatea. So, did you count them all? I made 23 bikes with 3 pillions amongst the group. Go back and check. Maybe I'm wrong, but it felt like 23. Felt like more, but yeah, I think it's 23. Anyway, there's the crew heading off again. I'm waiting for the last rider to pass me, and then I'm going to ride on along, catch up with them, and once again be looking after the rear of the troop. Now, as we're heading along here, Kahikatea Flat Road, we're heading up towards Kahikatea, where we might normally turn right onto State Highway 16. We didn't, we turned left and then headed along Peak Road. We're going to take a diversion up towards Helensville. Now, Peak Road is a well-travelled and much-loved route for motorcyclists throughout Auckland. Heading in either direction, it's quite a sweet little road. Leads to, well, one end kind of comes out towards Riverhead. The other end comes out towards State Highway 16 at the Kahikatea end. Anyway, as this ride carries on, we're now on Wishart Road, heading down towards Helensville itself. And we are probably due another regroup, and one in fact happens a little bit ahead. I do love that line of motorbikes ahead of me and this gorgeous countryside out to the right hand side, left hand side as well, which you can't see too well from the position here. Anyway, this is Railway Street, just leaving Helensville, heading along State Highway 16. We're having one last regroup. And it was here that things came a little bit awry. I went past the road captain, signalled, yeah, we're all here, and we were. And thought, well, I'm not going to get stuck behind traffic this time, I'm going to do a rolling restart. So I just kept on going very slowly, waiting for the crew to go past me. And when I could see no one else in the rearview mirror, thought, yep, that seems about right, probably. And then rejoined the group. And in my mind, I was pretty sure that, yeah, we seem to be all in place, it's good. As we travelled along a bit further, I'm still seeing nothing in the rearview mirrors. There's no motorbikes behind me for quite some large amount of empty road. I'm looking up ahead, I'm thinking, hang on. There's a little bit less than 20-something bikes in front of me here. We seem to be about 10 short. So now I'm thinking, hang on, did something happen? Is someone left behind? Or maybe many someones? I wasn't quite sure, you know. I'm going to have to throw a U-turn and go back and see what happened back there, because this is not all the bikes. I'm quite sure of it. So I was just pondering what to do and looking for a place that I could actually stop and turn around up ahead here. This is a high-speed road. Until I came to the point, okay, rearview mirror, I can see there's some headlights now. There are some bikes. For some inexplicable reason, there was a huge amount of empty road where the bikes would have normally pulled out, and they're now starting to slowly claw us back in. So I still thought, well, I better see what's going on. So I'm waiting for a bit of room to the left hand side of the road. I've decided I'm just going to pull over and stop and see who goes past, and make sure that I can recognise who are the riders that are behind me, and are they the ones that I expect to be travelling as the last riders. So I think coming up here on the left is a little bit of siding on the road that I step off, and then look to see, yep, here we go, there's a few more bikes. And now I'm taking special attention of these riders. Yeah, I remember these guys. This is exactly who I'm expecting to see. And we're getting kind of like a thumbs up, I thought, from Al there, who's just come down from Woodcocks for the ride today. Good work, Al. And I thought, well, that is it, because for sure after these guys there was absolutely no one in the rear view for a country mile behind. I thought, well, that's it, we're all here. Well, it turns out that we weren't all there. There were 2 bikes left behind, 2 new CVOs. One of them had some trouble starting, and it took them something like 15 minutes or so and a few sweaty moments to get one of the bikes, which was refusing to start, to come to life again. I don't know why the engine was turned off when we came to a stop, but it was. Anyway, they got it started again. They came ripping along State Highway 16 and took a shortcut through a gravel road of about 9-10 kilometres of gravel road and got to Puhoi, which is in fact today our final destination. They got there just a few minutes before us, but we were, well, I was oblivious to those two guys and their particular issue that they're having to deal with, and we were having a nice old ride along State Highway 16, and here we are turning off onto West Coast Road, which is kind of just now squaring us back around. We have a final regroup, or second to last final regroup I should say, as we turn onto West Coast Road. This road cuts through, we've been on it quite a number of times in other videos in the past. This morphs into Woodcocks Road once we get over the summit, and lead straight into Warkworth, at which point we'll turn on to Old State Highway 1, which will take us back down towards and into Puhoi Pub, which is our destination today, the fantastic old historic pub that's been a landmark for a very long time, since my youth and many decades before that as well. Anyway, let's start to enjoy what this West Coast Road has to offer. There's some amazing autumn colours that are coming through along the road as we travel through. There's a few one-lane bridges as well. Some of them are wooden one-lane bridges, which kind of adds to a kind of old country feel about the whole place. It's a really nice road for riding. It did suffer a little bit during some of the recent storms, and there has been a lot of road damage up ahead as we kind of have a very small climb up a twisty, windy canyon heading up towards a little bit of a summit, I guess you'd call it, because you get to a top and you do come down the other side. But in the meantime, it's a really enjoyable ride. It's a little bit disorienting for me this time, because the last year or so that I've come along this road, there has been a stop-go traffic light moving at various places, while they then have about, after that light, there's generally a few hundred metres of gravel road as they're trying to restore the road and shore up the hillside. And this is the first time I've been through in, well, a year that there hasn't been that stop-go traffic light control management or traffic management system in place along this road at all. It's all done. Now some parts of the road is still a bit sketchy, but I'm happy that that traffic management stuff is gone, and we're at the earlier part of autumn, early enough in autumn that, yeah, sure, the leaves are starting to change colour, they're starting to fall, but they're not creating a big menace on the road and turning into a big sludgy wet pile. It's going to make the road turn to custard under your tyres. And as we come along here, we're heading up to a little used railway track. I've never once seen a train on this crossing. And at this point the road switches to Woodcocks Road, which takes us through into Warkworth itself. So this is a different set of road here. It's kind of a much more straighter and easier riding. Soft curves instead of the tight ones that were coming up the hill on West Coast Road. And as we come out of Woodcocks Road, there is a traffic light controlled intersection. We turn right and we're now turning onto the old State Highway 1. This was the main drag heading up north, and it's now been superseded by a toll road, which is a multi-lane in places. Generally 2 lanes each way heading north and south, with occasional setup for a passing lane. Speaking of passing lane, here we are heading up Moirs Hill on Old State Highway 1. I was just waiting for this opportunity to get past that last car and catch up with the rest of the crew. Bit of fun to stretch the legs on the diner heading up here. And we're at this stage getting pretty close to Puhoi, but we do have one nice little surprise ahead where some fella got caught out. Obviously he didn't have a radar detector, or he had some other infraction going on in his vehicle, because I don't know that it was capable of going all that terribly fast, but he was anyway pulled over and given a little bit of a talking to by the boys in blue. And as our journey on Old State Highway 1 comes to a close, we are approaching now the Puhoi Road turn-off, which is our destination. We're going to be turning right here. Old State Highway 1, it's actually it's a good road to ride on now. You do need to be pretty careful because, as we saw evidenced by the white van who was pulled over before, it's not uncommon to see traffic police on this particular road at any time of the day or night. So yeah, just be warned, I guess. Anyway, as we're turning up Puhoi Road, coming up behind the last corner marker there to let them know we're good to go, and we got one final surprise coming up Puhoi Road, is that all of the traffic management systems that were usually in place over West Coast Road, looks like they've been all moved up here to Puhoi Road. So we were waiting in a traffic light situation here for a minute or two before we carried on past the I guess standard distribution of several thousand road cones, felt like. And then round the corner to the historic old Puhoi village, anchored by the magnificent historic Puhoi Pub, where we had a good relax, few beverages, and just good times with good friends in the sun. Listen to some live music. And that's about where this video is going to end as we make our way along. Beautiful day today, this particular Saturday, so I didn't go riding up towards the final road heading up the pub. I imagine that that would be all taken by other motorbikes, and probably it was. I parked with some buds down the bottom of the hill and just had a nice easy stroll up the top there. And anyway, as we come into the parking lot, so I'm going to leave this one to close off as we come on in here. And thanks for watching all this way. Hope you enjoyed what you've seen. It's a little bit of a change from some of the South Island vids that have been coming out lately. Probably time to have a little bit of a change for some sunny weather, because we were so delighted to have it last weekend. And on that note, I will close it out. Take care out there, ride safe, have fun. See you next time.